Mlecha egbe ne keken TV Africa. Omanye aba mlene da su. Mlene o kefa ke da ho mlepa o kefa. Omanye aba mlene ke abu omanye aba ayere ono akekpo keke. Eja ke ni busu lai no wa fe ja se che lenye kpo keke. Enyemi ne ke wa Gadangme ne ke wo Gadangme no. Ka abu omanye aba ko ba no ake zero matches ya ke ni na ku teno osu fe senche. The way que zero matches can be saying event. Again here, Omanye Bami, you work and work and then actually need a tea ablo, or Japun be, or for a sure, why it's right, go back, watch on in water. Omanye se fia ko nego de mene ni ami. Mene wodo machine ni ami. Ga Mantse abiasuma kintaki tekuchu. Boni emiefu bwa de nche. Ni miefu niga emiefu bwa de nche de jije no ko bibio. Egete ayelete. Enye no benme mi afio. Na ba yin gane ni ga shikon ne no. Ni ga mashikon gamano ni like wo yin ba tumo shikon na kan. Eke gan yarehu ganfo. No what touch na kan don na ko nya tumo shibon na kan gambatishi agbena ba no we ni ke ehie edo eja ke ganyare o ewie ne bia bi ni Allan Kwadwo Kyeremantin to we domoshin na fon shiki ale ake ma hie lo MPP na ja eti angale ne ke ya chonle jemeji ni ga wie ne eke o 2024 oba chon mo ni ba ye ma hie lo ni ga hie do anya wakwa.
Your Royal Majesty, I'd like to start by congratulating you most warmly for your ascension to this very important traditional. And I think it is appropriate that I use this opportunity to assure you that I'll use all my resources at my disposal, my network, to make sure that you bring development to the Ga State. Secondly, I'd also like to use this opportunity to express our deepest sympathies to you, Niga, Nime Name, on the passing of our Queen Mother very recently. May her soul rest in perfect peace. And I hope that when the opportunity arises, that I can also provide a modest support that will see her off befittingly. Thirdly, Niga, we are aware that chiefs are not supposed to engage in partisan politics. But we also know that the interests of the country is your own interest. And that if Ghana prospers, the Ga State will prosper. So I have no doubt in my mind that you are interested, directly or indirectly, as to who becomes the next president of our country. And we recall Senior Obechebi Lamte, Peter Alajete, H.O. Lamte, Junior Obechebi Lamte, chairman, was chairman of the party. And then many others, Odoi sides, and the much younger ones equal to Ajib Langsing, and many others. And I think that the role that the Ga community has played in bringing us to power must be appreciated by our own party. And so if it is God's will that I lead this party, and I become president, I'll make sure that Ghana's feature very prominently in the government that I run. Greater Accra is a capital of our country, and it is the entry point into our country. And first impressions are important. And so it is in our own interest as a government to lift up the Ga State. Secondly, the two most important challenges that confront us as a nation currently are maintaining a strong, resilient economy, and then secondly, creating job opportunities, particularly for our youth. Now, these two challenges cannot be dealt with significantly without transforming our country. Since independence, we've been to the IMF, I think 17 or 18 times. We are currently working towards receiving a package from the IMF. We have to reverse this trend. And the only way we can reverse this trend is to have a transformational leader. Who can move the country beyond growth to transformation. And in all humility, in all modesty, I believe that I offer that opportunity to move this country forward to transformation. We'll go beyond 8 years in our political cycle. But it is important that we break the 8. But we can only break the 8 with somebody who has a proven record to deal with the two challenges that I've already alluded to. So I want you to speak silently to those of your subjects who will be voting as delegates in our party. I want the Ga State to lead me on this path and on this journey and stand solidly behind me. That is the Ga State that is presenting Allan Kwadwo as the next president. And as Nomo said when he was filing the libation, I would also stand firmly behind the Ga State and not leave you behind. So this is a solemn pledge, as I indicated. I'm your subject, and it is in my own interest, in the interest of our party, and the country as a whole, that we lift up the Ga State. Once again, I'd like to thank you, Nime, for taking this opportunity to receive us so warmly. And when the time arises, we will come back, having sought your permission to talk to your subjects. And hopefully, victory shall be ours. I thank you.
Abrade abi efe penso ejeme kwena la ehioda na chon lajo o woko gbamo okara ema agben labajepo no lajopo aba fenla awo ami yin agbene na na ke gama shipon gama no ni ba fo isu e kun ko ba o ma cha no Omabi yesefia oncha woni fimu no wonda po kekeshin wonda siroma chesunshi na me hye wo mi no ke ni fimu no e ba nyegbe no ablade abi nya wo kon se wo ya me ni niga ke boy ni ba ablekuma ni ba kuma wo yo gashpon no ame ba me yishina me ko wan yisu ba ame ko wan yisu do na me ke wo ke bule awo kusumi woni fimu wo yemo na son e wo de ake bule ni won na ke boy ni ba to ame ba me yisha ke boy o Chinje na meko I'm here about too much more. Like a ba check be fa mi na ke lugu kura ba ni o je dide ni nya wo bo ni gato yi.
Ako chama Gadangme ni be Gadangme biasuma ma friend ko yi. Ako chama Gadangme. Yeah.
Ako ni me Gadangme.
Yeah.
Mene if you offend with you.
Yeah.
Me trying to never can fly with fan.
Yeah.
If you go anyway, some
Yeah.
is a flag.
Yeah.
My telephone, never me.
Yeah.
The ballet, the Kumia was only in vain.
Yeah.
You go now, if what is
Yeah.
living in a fair, you feel it at the harbor.
Yeah.
No limit of market, the men be there. Ga Mantse.
Yeah.
Communicating fair.
Yeah.
I greet you all this day. And you are welcome to the palace of the Ga Mantse. We thank you to that for taking this decision to run in this bid of the leadership of the MPP party. It's a bold step and very emulated. Ghana is watching. Whoever will win the bid must learn these two things: that you have to have social contract with the Gadangme people. We will decide this election in 2024 because Accra is the people's election. Accra is Ghana, and Ghana is Accra. Like I'm Omanye. Don't take us for granted. Build a social contract with the Gadangme people, and you will see the light. Creating a number of people you have mentioned of Ga descent, Allan Kwadwo, and all. He's a great man who stood and fought for this party. If you win your bid, which we pray you do, don't forget the toil of these great leaders whose will, thought, and process made this party what it is today. Gadangme is sad. Sad because of a lot of things that are being done against us. That's why I'm speaking in English today. But I want you to hear. We are sad. We are sad about the way we are being treated in the capital. People just get up, go to a place like Agoglushi, start building. Why? Without any reconstruction authority. Meaning no one.
Yeah. Okay.
Come and walk.
Yeah.
And here can pardon.
Yeah.
We want to tell you today is that I believe that in your manifesto, promote a national development agenda for the whole of the country, so that we will see there will not be shortchanged. We pray that if your bid is successful, you think about our lands too. a release of it will make them Gadangme very, very happy and in support of your way.
Now, this afternoon, you realize that something very important has happened here. The Ga State has spoken. After Mr. Kyeremantin demonstrated that the interest of the Ga State is synonymous with the interest of the New Patriotic Party, that if the New Patriotic Party breaks the 8, it will help the Ga State. The president of the Ga Traditional Council then said that it was important that we have a social contract with them. And then, of course, he insisted that everything to do with the Ga State must start with the chiefs. Consultation, consultation, consultation. And we believe that understanding, that association, that pact has been arrived here in the palace. And therefore, as Mr. Kyeremantin said, the MPP, with Kyeremantin in leadership, will have the full support of the Ga State as we move forward in the national elections to break the 8. Breaking the 8 is important because we need a continuity of good policies. We need a leader who is going to offer us transformative leadership. The important thing that came out was that we need a leader who is going to make things different from what we've always seen. Transformative leadership beyond growth. So we have economic growth, we have the job situation, but all of it will come about because we are going to have transformative leadership with the support of the Ga State. On this note, I'll ask my colleague, Catherine, to say a few words.
Thank you, our spokesperson and Director of Communications. We first have to thank you, our media partners, because what we're doing without you informing, educating the populace, it will not come to fruition. So we endear and plead with you to appropriately share what happened today here with the rest of the nation. The Ga State has spoken, and they, in the embodiment of the Ga Mantse, has requested a social contract with the New Patriotic Party, the government that will succeed Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. And he minced no words. He said, when you take over the leadership, remember the Ga State. That in itself is an encouraging path for Allan Kwadwo Kyeremantin, as he has done in the last 10 regions that we have visited, to urge on his leadership credentials, to share with the nation, but most importantly, to share with delegates that it is his time, it is his turn. He has waited patiently, he has followed the tradition, and he's sharing his loyal service and long service with the party, with first the traditional rulers of our nation. And we are so grateful that you are here today to witness it. Please share the good news with the rest of the nation. We thank you.
We don't go sit down with them chief every day. We don't go sit down with them chief test every day. What time? Ni dane akonya wishpon dabida ni gan eke gen tishi ni won ya won yin ton. Bien, o ke di fe mo ba banagbe. Acho mi ni tete ablu. Ye mo no joju ba. Iye bu akegbejan te ne manyeyelu. Iye bu akegbejan te ne manyeyelu. Ko da shida pele. Kada ni botu lai ni jinu wa fe ja seche. Deke po keke yen o ni pen. Agbo ko na shide ku e. Lo kada ni na ku tenu o su fe senche. De wo ke siroma che se yen o ni pen. Mo ke mo wo no de ya wen. Ni ke shan kwa moju.
Ye da bra fo me ye se. Ni na never wolo. Ta sino goma ta nye ya wo ta Omanye aba. Asonye o